Hello everybody and welcome to the first summer episode of MBHL on the Ball. After a short hiatus to start the season, we're back and ready to offer you some great ball hockey action. As always, I'm your host, Matthew LaFleur-Harewood. In this episode, we cover 4 games from the C-League and feature our first ever coverage of the new Youth League. Let's get straight to the action. Our first match is from our aforementioned Youth League. The Youth League is in its inaugural season and is having quite the start. Tonight's matchup features 2 of our U15 teams, the Grinders versus Los Tacos. Los Tacos is very familiar with one another, most of them having played ice hockey together during the offseason. This team has had some difficulty scoring as of late, so they'll be looking to pop in a few early goals to kickstart their scoring momentum. The Grinders are fresh off a tough loss against Stick Tricks, having lost 4-3 in a close battle. 2 superstars to keep an eye out for are Max Murphy and Colin Doucette. These guys are offensive powerhouses with stick handling, super speed, and great shots. The last time these 2 teams faced off, Los Tacos put on a clinic, badly outplaying and outscoring the Grinders. I expect both teams to bring everything they have to the table. We start this game off in Los Tacos zone. Tyler Grant's initial shot is stopped by last-minute goalie call-up Matthew Kowalik, but Max Murphy hops on the rebound and roofs it to make it 1-0 Grinders. William Baril Farino looks to tie the game moments later, but his shot is stopped by Grinders goalie Dylan Aceto. Back in Taco zone, Colin Doucette wins the battle in the corner and sends the ball to Mike Gilmore posted at the hash mark. He makes no mistake on his one-timer. It's 2-0 Grinders. Once again, Los Tacos are looking to strike back after letting in a goal. A nice passing play between Zach Fafa, Max Pilch, and Olivier Lipin leads to a great scoring chance. With 8 minutes left in the first, the Grinders are on the attack again. William Casey rings his shot off the post before Gilmore buries his second of the game on his backhand. Just like the 2 previous goals, Los Tacos come back to generate another solid scoring chance. This time, Aceto stones the pin at point-blank range. Aceto is forced to make another big save moments later when Baril Farino streaks in from the left boards. Kowalik then shows off some impressive goaltending skills of his own, stopping Doucette on a breakaway. Now in the second and with the score 4-0, Casey will extend the lead to 5 goals when he picks up another rebound in front of the Los Tacos net. Jeremy Jolie-Jett and Gilmore record assists on the goal. Max Murphy then completes his hat-trick with a beautiful redirect in front to make it 6-0. And then, in a great display of sportsmanship, the Grinders and Los Tacos change goalies, a rare act that makes you believe in the purity of the game once again. Now 7-0, the goalie change seems to spark something in Los Tacos, as Sam Panarinfo dipsy-doodles around a few defenders before ripping his shot top corner. Zach Fafa gets an assist on the goal. Los Tacos would add another goal 1 minute later when Max Pilch sends the cross-crease pass over Kowalik's glove. The game would end 10-2 Grinders. Max Murphy recorded 5 goals and 1 assist in what could be a career game for him. While it may not have been the MBHL start that Matthew Kowalik wanted, he definitely showed that he has the talent to become a real star in this league. In our second game, it's a battle of the farm animals, but we're not likely to see any chickens running around in this game. This is the C-League. Blackhawks versus Angry Birds. Blackhawks come to the C-League as last summer's E-League champs, and they've shown early on this year that they're the real deal. Led offensively by the Tavaronas brothers, Blackhawks are undefeated in 6 games and sit atop the C-League standings. From one of the best teams in the league to one of the best players, Angry Birds' Eric Fye is a dominant force whenever he's on the surface. He has great skills, sharpened hockey senses, and a need to win. Consistency has hurt the Angry Birds this season, which is why they sit in the middle of the pack with a .500 record. This is a big game for them, as they're trying to prove that they're a legitimate threat to win the C-League. We start this one off with Blackhawks forward Mike Tavaronas beating goalie Carlo Broccolini, but not the post behind him. A nice passing play in the Angry Bird zone leaves Mike Fishman untouched in the slot. He picks his corner, and just like that, it's 1-0 Blackhawks. Sean Fox and Manoli Detuni get the assists. Moments later, Mike and Matt Tavaronas come down on a 2-on-1, but the return pass is knocked wide by Ben Levite. The brothers are back at it again soon after as Matt tips Mike's shot, but Broccolini has the last word on this play. Eric Fye gets the first good scoring chance for the Angry Birds. He gets around one defender, but is forced behind the net by Wesley Wood's defensive play. Broccolini then shows some great passing skills when his clearing pass sends Theo Ravuniaris on a 2-on-1, but finally can't convert. Fai then undresses his defender and starts a beautiful passing play that ends with the ball going just over the net, guarded by James E. And now more of the same from Fai, but this time he gets hauled down in front of the net. On the ensuing power play, Levesque's shot goes over the net but lands back on Ravuniaris' stick, who sees his backhand stuffed by Eid. Back at the other end, Steve Coxis sees his redirect stopped by Broccolini. Now in the second, Fai is once again at the beginning of a scoring chance, sending Luke McDonald alone on a breakaway. He tried to beat Eid blocker's side, but the goalie says, not this time. The Angry Birds would finally pierce the wall they call Eid when, you guessed it, Eric Fai's low shot fools the Blackhawks goaltender. Pete Ravuniaris and Daniel Kala get the assists. Angry Birds look to take the lead moments later. Fai finds himself alone in front of the net, makes a brilliant pass over to Levesque, only to see Eid make a brilliant save of his own. The Birds think they scored moments later, when Levesque's rebound shot slides under Eid, but as the replay shows, the Ox goalie snags the ball with his blocker before it crosses the line. Fishman would get one last chance to beat Broccolini like he did earlier in the game, but the Birds goalie would have none of that, making the glove save. The game would end in a 1-1 tie. James E. would go on to stop 21 of 22 shots, while Carlo Broccolini would stop 20 of 21. The Blackhawks remain undefeated in 6 games this season, with a 4-0-2 record. Next up, Bad Medicine versus Trailer Park Boys. Bad Medicine is off to one of their best starts in recent history, led by the unbelievable play of Julio Carrera, who's playing like he's on the final year of his contract and looking for a big raise. If Bad Medicine can stay out of the penalty box like they have so far this season, they will definitely be a team who's going deep into the playoffs. Eric Larson has been the main offensive weapon for Trailer Park Boys this season, leading the team in points. Although the story thus far for this team has been the play of goalie Brian Marchetti. This guy's a fantastic goaltender and is currently leading the C-League in save percentage. When Marchetti is on his game, TPB is a very tough team to beat. He'll undoubtedly need to make some key saves in this game, for there's no cure for bad medicine like an excellent goalie. In the early goings of this game, the Trailer Park Boys are buzzing around the net, guarded by Costa Anastopoulos, but the goaltender is vigilant and turns aside every single shot. Anastopoulos then has to make a sprawling save on a streaking Adam Lee. Bad Medicine then comes down on an odd man rush. Julio Corral finds a trailing Jonathan Lobo, who can't beat Brian Marchetti. Still in TPB zone, Gary Grant's point shot is stopped, and Ben Lucier can't slide the rebound past Marchetti. With 5 minutes left in the first, Brian Kustek turns the ball over deep in his zone. Andrew Bolak finds Eric Larson in the slot. The team's leading scorer won't miss from there. It's 1-0 Boys. Before the end of the first, Correa gets around his defender but can't send the equalizer to the back of the net. Now in the second, Bad Medicine is still looking for their first goal, but the boys' goalie seems to have an answer for everything. He stones Emmanuel Shusha up close, and later on he stops Ali Nazuri's blast from the top of the face-off dot. Bad Medicine would finally crack the code on the very next play. Correa finds Nazuri streaking in behind the defenseman. Marchetti commits to the poke check and misses, giving Nazuri an open cage to shoot at. That goal seems to have awakened the men in black. Lucier has a clear shot to the net, but sends his shot wide. Then it's Jean Durocher who also shoots wide on Marchetti. And finally, it's Lobo who sees the Trailer Park Boys goalie stone him with a glove save. But finally, the numbers game would finally catch up to the boys. Correa finds Nazuri alone in front of the net once again. This time, Marchetti commits to the save. Nazuri waits him out and buries his second of the game. 2-1 Bad Medicine. The assault on Marchetti's net continues shortly after. First, Correa sees his wrist shot gloved by the netminder. Then, Nazuri strips the ball from his defender, only to see his shot ring off the post and land in Marchetti's glove. And finally, it's Jay Secchiano who can't beat the goalie on a 2-on-1 in front. With a minute remaining in the game and with the goalie pulled for an extra attacker, Jimmy Busillas wins the battle on the boards, and Correa shoots the ball down the length of the rink into an empty net. Bad Medicine takes this one 3-1. With the win, Bad Medicine improved to 4-1-1, while the loss drops the Trailer Park Boys to 3-2-1. Julio Correa now has 14 points in 6 games. This next game is played by the before and afters of a Saturday night out on the town. It's the Boozers versus the Hangovers. While these boys clearly like their beer, don't be fooled because they are plenty sober when it comes to playing and they usually mean business. The Hangovers are another team led by a pair of brothers, the Ghilarducci boys. Simon is having a breakout year this year, leading the team in scoring. And while Carl has not played as many games as his brother, he's certainly a force to be reckoned with. The Boozers have had a rough start to the season, but with the exception of their last game, they've been in every single game. Scoring has been a tough spot for this team. As they get accustomed to the competition and develop their team chemistry, they have the goods to be a very strong team. If the Hangovers take the Boozers too lightly, they'll certainly pay for it. And what a massive headache that will be. Don't try to adjust your screens, it's gray versus grayer. The game is just over 2 minutes old when the Boozers goalie goes all in with the poke check, but the ball bounces back to Victor Auger, who sends the ball into an empty cage. It's 1-0 Hangovers. Philippe Debuin then finds himself alone in front of Dave Brassard, but the goalie stops a shot and smothers the rebound. More of the same moments later on the power play when Vincent Bellil comes out of the corner and into the slot. Off the ensuing faceoff, Brassard stops Grant Allison's point shot with Maxime Bouchard-Lagrange standing in front of him. And then it's Simon Ghilarducci who gets stoned by Brassard at the side of the net. The Boozers goalie was on fire in the first period, stopping 15 of the 16 shots he faced, including this one against Francis Aubé. In Hangover zone, the first real chance comes when John Brassard fights his way into the front of the net, but goalie Jean-Michel Lacombe has the final word. Dave Brassard is back to his old tricks at the end of the first, stoning Aubé on the rebound attempt. Now in the second, Colin Plass finds himself in a good position but sees his shot hit Lacombe right in the chest. Now let's admire this great passing play by the Hangovers. All 4 Hangover players get in on the action, and finally it's Debuin's shot that is steered into the corner by Brassard. Back in Hangover territory, the Boozers forward get a good crack at Lacombe's net, but can't put the rebound past him. Then it's Aubé coming in on a partial break. He gets slowed down by his defender and tries to bank the ball off a body in front, but to no avail. Aubé would finally beat Brassard with 10 minutes remaining. He's left alone in the slot and risks a laser beam blocker side. Simon Ghilarducci gets an assist on the goal. Aubé would come close to scoring his second goal moments later, but he can't convert. The game would end 2-0 for the Hangovers. With the win, the Hangovers get back to 500 with a 3-3 record, while the Boozers fall to 0-5. This was Lacombe's first shutout of the season, stopping all 14 shots he faced. The last game sees Papa Shango's against the Ligers. The ball hockey gods have not been kind to Papa Shango this year. They were a force to be reckoned with in the H-League last summer, but haven't been able to reignite that fire. Captain Shane Pollard will need to rally his troops together and produce a solid effort against one of the C-League's top teams. They'll need to generate some early momentum and get their confidence up. The Ligers are appropriately named because these guys are beasts. They've been off to an impressive start this season, and many are labeling them as favorites to win the C-League. Discipline and efficient execution are the ingredients that the Ligers are mixing together for the recipe of success, and they'll be looking to serve up a healthy dose of it to Papa Shango's in tonight's match. Will Papa Shango's be able to digest it, or will the Ligers move one step closer to becoming kings of the C-League? We jump to 5 minutes into the game. In Ligers zone, Kyle O'Reilly overloads his defender on the outside but can't beat Evan Morris up close. Still in Ligers zone, this time it's Shane Pollard who gets stoned point blank by the netminder. In Papa Shango's zone, the Ligers will strike first. A nice passing play leaves Yves Muchaka alone in front of Riley McMillan. Muchaka slides his backhand under the goalie, making it a 1-0 game. Now in the second, McMillan will keep his team in the game by making this big save against Matt Samsonovich. The Papa Shangos will get a good scoring chance on a 2-on-1, but Corey Cook's shot misses the net and Pollard fans on the rebound. Napoleon Dynamite's favorite animal will extend their lead when John Smith is sent in alone against McMillan. The shooter makes no mistake shooting upstairs on the goalie, 2-0 Ligers. Samsonovich would add to that lead just 2 minutes later when he beats the goalie short side. Jason Smith gets an assist on the goal. Eric Thompson is next to score when he's allowed to walk in untouched in front of McMillan, beating him high with a backhand. Make that now 4-0 Ligers. The Papa Shangos wouldn't get many chances in the second period, registering only 6 shots, and when they did, they were unable to convert. Jason Smith would add to Papa Shango's misery when he accepts Alexis Fawcett Moya's feed from behind the net, spins, and shoots it low past the netminder. It's now 5-0 Ligers. Samsonovic would get his second of the game when he tips the Ryan Fanning cross-crease pass to the back of the net. At this point, it's 6-0 Ligers. Exactly 1 minute later, Fawcett Moya will just send the ball on net, and David Gallant would pick up the loose rebound and stuff it by McMillan. Gallant would score one more before the end of the game, and the Ligers would win by a landslide, 8-0. In total, 6 Liger players finished the night with at least 2 points, with Samsonovic leading the way with 2 goals and 2 assists. Papa Shangos dropped to 0-6, while the Ligers improved to 4-1-1. Here are your updated standings and scoring leaders for the C League. It's now time for the highlight of the night. And for that, we head back to the Youth League, where Los Tacos goalie Matthew Kowalik makes a great save on the grinder breakaway. That's it for our first summer episode. We're glad you tuned in. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. We have a whole lot more action coming up in the next few weeks, so stay tuned. For MBHL on the Ball, I'm Matthew Herod, saying stay classy, MBHL.